This is Michael Berry down in Houston, Texas, and my advice for you on your impending marriage is as follows. First, you followed the Clay Travis rule of finding the hottest woman you could possibly get and locking her down. And they seem really happy. Gary is lucky to have you, and you are lucky to have her. And I will quote for you, after 30 years of marriage following my dad's advice of over 50 years of his marriage, he said, you know, when your mom and I got married, we agreed that I would make all the big decisions and your mom would make all the small decisions. And after over 50 years, there haven't been any big decisions yet. Congratulations, Bub and Carrie. Here's to many years of happiness to you both.
Wise words from the czar of talk there, much appreciated, Mr. Michael Berry, down in Houston, and I am noticing a trend, which is the wife is always right. If the wife is always right, apparently you as the husband are in good shape. This is what I'm gathering from a lot of the advice that I'm seeing and heard out there right now. So I'm going to implement that for sure.
Yeah, I think that would be a very smart implementation policy for you starting tomorrow when the wedding gets underway. We're getting blown up, by the way, which is an interesting choose of a choice of phrase there. So many people reacting to this Chinese, balloon spy craft that is currently traversing the United States, and I think the overwhelming reaction out here is shoot the damn thing down. And I just love it. I don't would be knowledgeable enough about this, but I really am kind of focused on the governor aspect of this because part of the country. Tell me why, and I'm just working through it in my head, a governor would not have the right to protect his state's airspace from Chinese spy craft and have the authority as the governor of the state to shoot down this Chinese spy craft if he or she, whoever the governor is, made that choice. Does that make sense to you? The ability? I mean, certainly the United States should do it.
Yeah, well,
but if they wouldn't,
what are they going to do if they did that, right? Let's say,
right, that's what I'm saying.
Let's say right now, it was over Montana. Maybe it's over South Dakota right? So Governor Nome, for example, could order South Dakota National Guard to scramble some F-16s or whatever. They go up there, they shoot this thing down. Let's just, I don't know if that's happened. Let's just say that happens. What is the federal government going to do? Right? I mean, are they going to say that you're not allowed to deploy National Guard to address this issue? I don't know. I got to say, I think it is likely, in my mind, that the Biden administration is going to be forced to take this thing down. Otherwise, it just floats in our airspace.
Yeah, again, it's a strange concept of federalism because national defense is typically, obviously, the responsibility of the national government. But, I'm using, for instance, the border as an example. Governor Perry in Texas can call out the Texas resources to try to deal with the mess at the border, even though the border is also a national issue. So there's both state response on border-related issues. Again, I don't think they're going to arrest Kristi Noem for shooting down. I'm just using Kristi Noem as an example because, again, we know that she's up there in the vicinity of where this Chinese balloon might be. And are you telling me that any Republican governor who shot this down, this wouldn't be like the greatest political accomplishment of their tenure to then get in an argument with the Biden administration over whether they were too tough on China? Like, this seems to me like one of the most no-brainer political wins of all time. I'm just trying to think through the legality of it because it should be something that our federal government But if you're a governor, like if I'm the governor of Tennessee right now, I would shoot this thing down. I just would. This would not be a tough call to me. China's not going to spy on Tennessee. We're going to shoot it down.
The problem, Clay, that the Biden administration runs into with all this is the longer they wait to shoot it down, if they do end up shooting it down, they didn't, right? So they kind of, the momentum is for letting it continue to float longer it floats, because then you're going to turn around and tell people, oh yeah, we just didn't know what we're doing. So, they in the Secretary of State's trip to China over this. This is becoming a real diplomatic incident. The Biden team they have no idea what to do. I mean, they're totally hungry.
The only thing I can think is if China has somehow actually made this spy plane loaded with a bomb, and they're concerned if they shoot it down that it could lead to some, much more substantial event. In other words, they're not telling the story. This doesn't add.
I don't buy it.
Clay Travis and Buck Sexton on the front lines of truth. Power Talk 1460 and FM 101.1.
If one of your goals this year is to do business with companies who share your values, then switch to Pure Talk for your cell phone service.
Pure Talk is proudly veteran-owned. They proudly employ a U.S.-based customer service team.
Their service kicks butt. It's on one of the largest networks out there, blazing fast data, talk, and text for just $30 a month.
That's probably half of what you're paying Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile.
You can keep your phone and your phone number and switch over in as little as 10 minutes.
Pure Talk has a first-month risk-free guarantee. Try it, and if you're not completely happy with your Pure Talk, you'll get your money back.
Support a company who supports you. Dial pound 250, say Clay and Buck, and you'll save $10 off your first month. Again, dial pound 250 and say Clay and Buck, % off your first month. Pure Talk is simply smarter wireless.
David in Pennsylvania writes in to tell us about his experience with Relief Factor. I tried Relief Factor for hip pain and was surprised that it also helped relieve my shoulder and foot discomfort. After taking it for a month, I stopped. And sure enough, the pain returned. So I started taking Relief Factor again, and within a week, the pain was relieved. I'm now taking Relief Factor daily. David, I've heard your story before. People stopping and then starting again because it works. As you all know, I had trouble with aches and pains, and climbing steps was brutal. Your first step to living the life you love, free from aches and pains, could start for the highly discounted price of $19.95. After trying Relief Factor, over 500,000 people have gone on to order more. Try it for yourself and see what all these people are talking about. Go to relieffactor.com for relief to find out more about this offer. That's 800 for relief. Live your best life and feel the difference with Relief Factor.
I'm Amy Aaron, founder of Madison Reed, the hair color company I named after my dog. To give you the most gorgeous hair color made with ingredients you can feel good about. Are you tired of spending hundreds of dollars at the salon, having appointments take 3 hours, and not knowing the ingredients in your hair color? Then you should try Madison Reed. For our at-home hair color. But big news, we now have over 77 locations nationwide. We call them hair color bars. And let us take care of you. We will color your hair in half the time it takes a fraction of the price. For a limited time, new clients get 15% off your first hair color service at a Madison Reed hair color bar. Visit madison-reed.com/promo. That's madison-reed.com/promo. Try it. Love it. That's the beauty of Madison Reed.
Binge listen this and all your artist stations, plus any song from our library of millions of songs, all ad-free. Get your free 30-day trial of iHeartRadio All Access. Don't be basic, be extra. Start your free 30-day trial of iHeartRadio All Access now.
China claims it's an accident. Lisa Brady, Fox News, said a giant Chinese balloon flying over the U.S. is for research and went off its planned course. The Pentagon says it's for spying and is violating our airspace and international law.
We are aware of the PRC's statement However, the fact is, we know that it's a surveillance balloon.
Pentagon spokesman Brigadier General Pat Ryder says the ability to maneuver and has changed course since entering U.S. airspace. He also says they have seen this type of balloon activity before, but won't say exactly when or where because it's classified.
I think what makes this different is duration and the length of which it has been over U.S. territory.
Ryder also won't say where the balloon was when the Pentagon first discussed shooting it down, which military commanders recommended not doing.
We assess that it is not a risk to people on the ground as it currently is traversing the continental United States. And so, out of an abundance of caution, cognizant of the potential impact to civilians on the ground from a debris field, right now we're going to continue to monitor and review options.
The balloon's path has included Montana, home to one of America's 3 nuclear missile silo fields. Secretary of State Antony Blinken was supposed to visit China, postponed indefinitely. President Biden heads to Philadelphia to talk about progress on his agenda, boosted by the new jobs report.
Even as the job market reaches historic highs, inflation continues to come down. Inflation has now fallen for 6 straight months.
So he says his economic plan is working. More than 500,000 jobs created in January, a lot more than expected. But wage growth slowed, perhaps offering some reassurance to the Fed, which is still trying to cool inflation with rate hikes. America is listening to Fox News.
With all the chaos and stress that we face every single day, it's not easy to be your best when you wake up every morning. And it's an extra tall order if you toss and turn all night. This was me a lot of the time. Years, really. Can't settle down my mind or slow it down fast enough to sleep. What's changed? The Relief Factor company introduced me to Relief Factor Sleep. This is so easy to drift off to sleep, completely at ease. And when you wake up, I don't feel groggy. This is all natural. I feel great. Relief Factor Sleep. 100% drug-free. Blend of natural ingredients designed to promote healthy sleep by reducing anxiety and stress and improving mood and promoting relaxation. I know it works. My wife takes it as well. I felt the difference on the first night, and so will you. The first bottle is $19.95. So unleash the power of great sleep for yourself by calling 800-4-RELIEF. 800-4-RELIEF. Or go to ReliefFactor.com. Dream big and sleep tight.
Hello, I'm Amy Aaron, founder of Madison Reed, a hair color company I named after my daughter. I started Madison Reed so you can feel good about it. Paying hundreds of dollars at the salon, having appointments take 3 hours, and not knowing the ingredients in your hair color, then you should try Madison Reed. You may know us for at-home hair color, but big news, we now have over 77 locations nationwide. We call them hair color bars. Book a service and let us take care of you. We will color your hair in half the time it takes in a typical salon and a fraction of the price. For a limited time, new clients get 15% off your first hair color. Reed hair color bar. Visit madison-reed.com/promo. That's madison-reed.com/promo. Try it. Love it. That's the beauty of Madison Reed.
Binge listen plus any song from our library of millions of songs, all ad-free. Get your free 30-day trial of iHeartRadio All Access. You'll love it. Don't be basic, be extra. Start your free 30-day trial of iHeartRadio All Access now. Advance Auto. Bienvenidos al Advance Show. Primer episodio. ¿Quién es este Advance? Bueno, Advance es una persona. Yo, ya. No solo porque los nombres se parecen. Advance. Le encantan las baterías Diehard, los paquetes de aceite y los ambientadores. Y ese Eduardo para los cuates. ¿Qué hago de mi tercera persona? Gracias por escuchar el Advance Show.
Would you like to inspire concert for the wonders of Monterey Bay and beyond?
If so, you're a great candidate to apply as a volunteer guide at Monterey Bay Aquarium. Volunteers must be at least 18 years old and bilingual speakers.
Informational meetings will be held virtually on February 13th and 16th and in person at the aquarium on February 18th.
Visit MontereyBayAquarium.org/volunteer to sign up for a session.
like Unsung the Decades. Valentine's Day with a Lifetime Movie Club pick like Harry and Meghan, A Royal Romance. Or crank up the action with Godfather of Harlem from MGM+. Get down and funky with the Classic Soul playlist from iHeartRadio. Easily discover new free content each week across the best streaming app. Say free this week into your Xfinity voice remote.
Second hour of Clay and Buck gets going right now, everybody. Thanks for being here with us, and we've got the continued national with the spy balloon as it moves east. We have updated this assessment to include that the balloon is right now, Clay. That's the latest.
That is Bill Belusion, who not only is the only person evidently who covers the border, but I just saw on Twitter that he has tweeted out that it may now be over Missouri. There are other balloons that might be up there. And so my wife says, all right, Buck, that I have been deluged with text messages from her about the Chinese spy balloon. The fact that you are going to be married tomorrow, and we just got the advice to listen to your wife. She is saying that that it may be national law, and there are use of force provisions based on whether it's a violent, imminent threat or not, and what force can be used. I say, okay, respectfully, if I am in the United States and there is a foreign spy craft in our airspace, I don't care what international law says I am allowed to do.
Well, what are you gonna arrest face charges in The Hague for shooting down a spy balloon with nobody on?
That is my argument. Also, politically, losing another election if I'm a Republican governor and I shoot down a Chinese weather balloon.
Can I just? This is where the action speaks louder than words. Aphorism. It's very important. International law is just something people talk about. The real international law, when it comes to spycraft in your airspace, is you shoot it down.
Yes.
Because otherwise, you're going to bring some. Now, you can take some sort of diplomatic sanction, but to resort to diplomacy in this situation to be feeble at best, because
I just don't understand how.
Yeah, by the way, the Pentagon's been very clear. It's not whether spies. They're not. So we're question as to whether the Chinese are using this thing to spy on us. The only question is whether we're going to do anything.
I don't understand how it isn't American policy that the moment that any spy craft enters into our airspace, we shoot it down. Like, how is that not standard American policy? Does anybody, I mean, just for anybody out there listening across the whole nation, millions of you right now, how is it not our policy that, again, the minute it enters United States airspace and it is spycraft, down. Now, my concern, Buck, is that this is just part of a larger test by China, and they wanted to know, hey, will the Americans even notice if we send a Chinese spy balloon across their border? And I wonder, it went public in Montana, but did this traverse as well to get to Montana?